Center in Taytay, Rizal. And we are going to present our thesis confirming the presence of Sundadalfusa antipolensis in Tong River in Taytay. My outline of presentation is as follows. I'm going to be saying our objectives and the significance of our studies, our methods, our observations and recommendations. And the importance of our study is that this crab is a Luzon endemic, meaning it can only be found in Luzon and nowhere else in the world. It is data deficient, meaning it has not been studied for a long time and it lacks details because it was last studied by Rathbun in 1904, nearly more than 100 years ago. If ever it is confirmed to be an endemic specimen, the ecological value of Tong River will increase. Well, to date, of the 10,000 plus species being introduced, 6,793 of them are the only ones published. And 950 of these are freshwater crabs. And of the 950 freshwater crabs, 41 of them are endemic only to the Philippines. And Sundadalfusa antipolensis is one of them. And, sorry, 22 out of 29 of the Sundadalfusa species belong only to the Philippines. Now, this is our crab, Sundadalfusa antipolensis. And our methods is as follows. Tong River is a river behind our school. We adopted it and turned it into our own field laboratory. And we also do monthly cleanups and studies. Aside from crabs, we also study other specimens like the frogs, the macroinvertebrates over there, and like birds and bats and several other species too you can find in the river. This is the map of the river. It is a 15-kilometer river going to the Mangahan floodway, which should eventually end up to the Laguna Lake. And this is our sampling area. This is our school, and this is where we collect our crabs. We use the Dakma method, similar to the crabs, because it is easier than using nets because they tend to escape nets. And this is the hand of our professor catching a crab. And these are some pictures of the crabs we caught. As you can see, not all of them have the same colors, but it doesn't mean they are of different species. And the genders, as you can see, can be identified by the shape of their abdomen. This is a male, and this is a female. Brace yourself for the next pic. This is a mother crab that we caught and preserved, and it had 107 hatchlings. This is what the hatchling looked like. We preserve the crab in 75% ethanol, then we soak them at 10% formalin so they can turn hard, and we return them back to 75% ethanol so they can last. Now we have 2 jars. And in the area we are studying, there are only 2 confirmed species, the antipolensis and the grapsoids. So we only have to compare our specimen to 2 species. And as you can see, there's a great similarity of our species towards the antipolensis. And another way to identify is by looking at the teeth on top of the carapace. And this is the holotype given to us by Sir J.C. Mendoza, a well-known biologist. And as you can see, they are very similar, which gives us more reason to confirm that this is an antipolensis. We also measured the legs to see. And since the holotype is pretty bigger than the specimens we got, we are not really sure if it really is antipolensis, but there is a great chance it is antipolensis. So we measure the crabs. We measure their carapace, and the carapace width and the carapace length, and part of their claw, the carpus, the dactylus, the propolis and the merus, and their posterior wing. We measure these parts because most of the journals we saw, most of the related literatures also use this measurements. So we also did the same thing. And we got measurements. The average of our crabs measure 2.5 centimeters, and the females measure 2.4 centimeters. And we observed that bigger crabs are usually found upstream. And if you can you please press the button. There, it is upstream, meaning there is less trash, and it's a cleaner environment for them because all the trash goes here. So, bigger crabs are found here. Please press the box over there. And they usually reside in collections of dead leaves because they eat the dead leaves and dead animals. They live in clusters of 3 to 5 individuals. Most of them are females. They also have differences in carapace length. Next, please. And we recommend to spread awareness of this endemic crab to the residents in the river because they tend to eat them, and we see dead crabs lying around, half eaten by the people there. And we also want a universal way to identify crabs because most journals have different ways of using identifications of crabs. We want the holotypes to be measured so there can be a cluster analysis and comparison to our caught specimens. And we would really like to acknowledge Sir J.C. Mendoza for helping us in our study. He's a well-known biologist and he is now in Singapore. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, That's your Juan Carlo, right? Okay. Thank you for the presentation. Just listening to the 3 high school presenters, I would like to congratulate the very good advisors for inspiring your students.